the impetus. You said another mental health trouble because we constantly disease. How do we start to regulate ourselves? How do we start listening to them young kids? And why don't we?
If I can speak to the why we don't listen to the young kings, for some, they feel threatened by the young kings. The young kings have something to present. I'm not too far from him. I'm really up the road and down the street from him in age. But we're intimidated. I don't want to be seen as less than, or I don't have anything to offer, or because of what he offered, I view it as greater than. So instead of taking or learning from him, I would rather oppress him so I can seem much more greater. And so a lot of times that's the mentality that's been passed down throughout the community. And so I know for me personally, because in order for me to understand society as a whole, I have to do the work within me. Rejection is one of the reasons why it's hard to ask for help or receive help. Because my inner childhood, and when I look for certain people to help me, and I got turned down or they dropped the ball, that played into my conditioning, and now as I'm older, it shows up from time to time. I'll give you a prime example. When I go inside of a store, I don't want to ask for help. I stay in the store for 2 hours and not ask for help. I don't know, they done reconstructed the store and everything, and I'm like, I'm gonna just walk around because I'm gonna figure this out because I don't want to feel less than as a man. Also, when I didn't know something when I was a child, I got shamed. So now it's hard. I'm doing better, but I still have my moments, as you can obviously see with the store. I have moments where I still struggle like, oh man, I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to seem like I'm not the man. But what a man is, what is that? What is a man? How is that man defined? And there's so many other systems that's defining that. Instead, we're not defining it ourselves. And that's because our voices have been suppressed. There's a certain image that's been projected by the media and also parts of our community that's been oppressing us. So now we don't want to speak up. We just want to just do the work. We just want to work hard. And yet we don't get affirmed. In fact, some of us as men don't want to even acknowledge we have emotions. Some of the young men that I work with, one young man that I work with, oh man, I'm not emotional. I said, is that right? I said, the NBA finals was on, and he was rooting for Denver. Denver won, and he hit me up. He was excited. I said, man, are you happy? He said, yeah, I'm happy. I said, man, you know that's an emotion. Right? So it's hard as men to even express or acknowledge, man, I have emotions. That hurt me. The fear of rejection. Because if I'm vulnerable, if I'm weak, who's there to protect me? And so that's what shows up a lot of times. I know it shows up for me, that's why I can speak to it. And I'm like, this is what I have, this is what I see. So a lot of times when we see the young kings come up, the insecurities that we struggle with, we face it on them, and I don't see my brother as a threat. I see him as an asset. So I'm like, oh no, he has data, he has information that we need to create a better society. We have so much to give. I believe personally, and I'm gonna turn it over. All of us have so much to contribute, and so coming together will help create that environment. One of the sisters talking about manifesting that. But it's going to take for us to work together, and if we're going to work together, we got to work through our own personal shit.
And I believe, to your point, what you're saying is like an ego thing. Like, the terminology, man, still wet behind the ears. What do you know about something? And that type of logic will keep you stuck. And like for me, I've never been the type of person, I can learn from anybody. I can learn from everybody. I'm not in like this. Like, what was that, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we had my brother of mine created a space called Men Think, a big group Zoom meeting, And I invited my uncle here, and we had a great time. Even when the meeting was over, we were still on there still talking. Because men don't have that space to actually be men. And speak as men, we're comforting the women, we're providing, we're doing stuff like that, but we don't have that opportunity to speak as men and speak candidly without being judged, without being persecuted for something we said or how we feel. Because we can't get our feelings out there because we're supposed to be, oh, this man, we're supposed to do this, we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of unfair. But a lot of people don't talk about that because they just accept it. They just accept what you want me to, how you want me to feel. And I don't think that's right. So that's why my brother created that space for men to think, men to talk.
Yes, brother, that's good. You know, I got to speak about so many things that I can just piggyback right off of that, man, and say that when you think about your concern about what people are going to think, you're going to waste a lot of time right there. You want to kind of put some of that stuff on hold and allow yourself to not so much ignore it because you don't have that type of switch. You know, we just emotional. I believe in emotion. I'm emotional right now. It's just beautiful. I don't even know. I'm excited to be here amongst you black men. We know a lot is going on outside. We could be doing a lot of good things downtown and living our lives, but we're more concerned with the help that's needed in our communities as men, as a family, as a whole. And that's what I'm always encouraged about. One day we'll get better collectively. Now, if we all choose to give up and quit, you know, that's gonna be something that, you know, you find yourself in a hopeless situation. But I don't believe in that, you know, because of my own life and my story. But, you know, I tell people, you know, being concerned with what people think, you waste a lot of time with that. And here I am today, I'm looking at my own life, you know, how you have to be disciplined, but also you have to be able to cut some people off who's going to bring the negative energy, who's not going to see your dream, your views, for different reasons, egotistically, jealousy, and all other things. So if you can't find yourself disciplined enough and not overly concerned with what they're thinking, I say to myself and to others, just the same way we go and we lose weight, we have diets, you know, you have to put your mind on the diet. You have to alleviate some of them things that comes into your thinking, and enough to be able to say, I'm not even going to concern myself with that. That's a challenge. It's a cost you're going to have to pay for that. It's a heavy price because, you know, you lose friends along the way and everything else. But the good part about it is you can go to sleep at night. You can rest. You don't have to be concerned with what everyone is thinking. And if you're doing something that's good and it sits well within your soul, keep doing it. Because, you know, a lot of times we're going to be attacked right here. But some of the stuff you have to take out your diet. You have to take it out your mental as well. You know, and that's why I say, you know, you have to kind of like put your mind on the diet. Don't take everything in and choose to want to believe that everybody's happy for you. You know, you're going to find natural enemies. People just don't want to see you do well. But you got to keep on your journey. And if it's for good, that's what makes you motivated and say, hey, I know what I'm doing is righteous. So that's what we need to continue on, just living.
And earlier we were talking, Chewy and myself, and I was saying sometimes elevation sometimes requires separation. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said is people that were with me then, they can't go to my next level because they go hold me bound, and hold me to a standard that I'm not willing to be upheld for. And with that being said, even I remember years ago I was in college and I was at this place, and I put my card in the ATM to get money out, but the ATM was messed up. And the guy sat there the whole time and watched me. He's like, yeah, I did the same thing to me. I said, why didn't you tell me? He said, man, I don't know you. And just that line, I was like, wow, that was so alarming to me that he didn't say that. You know, he didn't help his another brother out. You know, and it's just like a lot of people are selfish, and that's why people are bound for the most part. They're selfish. If he winning, I'm happy for his win. If he win, I'm happy for his win. I'm not jealous. I'm not because my turn coming as well. You see, so if we celebrate the other people's wins, then that's when our win comes.
And with that being said, all our help comes from the same source.
Yes, sir.
So whatever you got coming, I should have something coming too.
And being and close by the people in proximity.
Yes.
You get blessed, I get blessed, he get blessed, because I'm in close proximity to these people. So I'm saying if I get rid of the good people out of my life, all I'm gonna see is bad, and then accept badness from the people I'm around, because they're bad people. So it's all about who you I get a sense of all around.
Yes.
I'm taking this trauma. I'll be certified in about 5 or 6 in September, sometime in September. I met Darrell when he was 12. All of them was in the same class, my son, and as I'm looking at Darrell, damn me, Darrell 23, damn me, his whole peers are dead or in jail. My son is in jail right now. I had all of them in LFI. What I'm learning in this trauma class is, I didn't even know what I was doing. We learning that when we make decisions, we making the correct biological response to our fucking environment. I was telling them way back then when all the teachers were like, them kids bad, them motherfucker, they had all them D labels on them. I said, boy, ain't shit wrong with y'all. I said, you just a smart ass dummy. I called him, what I call him?
You said I'm smart ass dummy.
I said, you said. And he kept that. I said, boy, ain't shit wrong with you. I said, stop letting the people tell you shit wrong with you. Your system shocked. That dirt out there that shocked us out. And so we gonna respond to the way that dirt that shocked us. But that's why we gotta come back to conscience. You see what I'm saying? And in order for us to get our black mental health in shape, we gotta come back to conscience, man. You see what I'm saying? We can always, you can pray to that goddamn rock, but if we don't know what we are, and who gave us our masculinity, who gave us our thought process, we're gonna continue that cycle of being incarcerated. This is what our mental health gonna do. Keep us incarcerated, keep us with all these diseases, because we had disease. Keep this cycle going, and we got to learn how to listen. I told the red, I said, y'all got to find a way to learn how to listen, because that shit there will save your life. And so just seeing him here, man, that's why I said, no, let him teach us. I ain't never scared to get out the way. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never scared to get out the way. When I was in the street, all the older guys, they would listen to me. I'm like, man, why the fuck they old motherfuckers listen to me? I got guys 40, 50 years old working for me. But they saw something, same thing I saw the red. So they saw leadership, but it needed to be developed. So as black men, we got to seek out when we see somebody, when these shorties, they're sharp, we got to give it to them, man. And plant. And plant. You see what I'm saying? Because we're on assignment. So if I leave up here and I die right now, I'm good with the ancestors. That was my work.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's powerful, man.
Yes, you water they see you.
And so we got to start taking care of our mental health. That shit personal. So some things you got to be selfish of. And your mental health is selfish. That's you. You're responsible for that. I grew up with a mentally ill mother, man, all my life. So I know mental illness when I first see it. And it's up to all of us to take care of that. Set boundaries on that. So I tell my girl, I tell my sister, man, look, I'm cutting my mother's phone off. I don't, when I need to cut off, I'm turning my phone off. Or I'm going to do something. I don't care who catch feelings behind that. That's my mental health. When I go to sleep, what that Gazoo said. Y'all saw Fred Flintstone?
Yeah,
Fred Flintstone.
yeah.
Y'all remember Gazoo?
Yeah.
We all got a motherfucking Gazoo. What Gazoo telling y'all? You know, that's that inner critic. We all got a Gazoo. And so, listen to that Gazoo. Because we get up and tell ourselves something every day. My last 2 questions. What does that Gazoo tell you? What do you get up and tell yourself? Or what that thing or that self-critic telling you? Did it tell you to say, you know what, let me overcome or let me stay stuck? Mine's telling me, I got to overcome. I got to do it. You see what I'm saying? I got to build down, sit down my procedure, remember, and be able to do it fast. That's what my shit telling me, even when I'm tired. So, the Red, what you telling me?
It basically just reminds me that it's a consistent fight, like it's a consistent battle to where it's like wherever I want to go, you know, I got to fight to get there. So I remember I was racing. Stinson kept telling me to slow down. I ain't know what he meant. Then I had a baby, and you know, things just got to happen back to back. You might have to slow down. So it's like, it just keep telling me, man, you gonna get it. But you gotta fight to get it though. And then it's like, my fight just be my fight, you know? So I'm fighting.
That's real. In the words of Ludacris, he was born in Chicago but raised in Atlanta. Uncle Zoo tell me, move, bitch, get out the way.
I hear you, man.
Because a lot of times I can get in my own way.
Yes.
And I end up fighting and having battles with people, and really my battle is not with that person, it's with myself. So constantly every day is get out the way, man. When I'm overthinking, it's like, hey man, get out. That's not realistic. So it's telling me, move, get out the way.
Marcus would tell me like when I'm just ready, I'm focused on hearing other people's opinions. He tell me you went through death twice. You're not down only once but twice. Wheelchair bound, delivered from all that. So what are you worried about? What are you fearful of? What is going to stop you from excelling to a height that you know you can excel to? So with that being said, I had to. Marcus Zoo says keep at it, but just reference your past to move to the future.
Man, Zoo, I don't even really deal with him. If you want to talk to me, you got to speak positive.
Yeah.
I don't even let him in, man, because you know, I talk to myself and I encourage myself a great deal because you know, it's a lot of negativity around each and every day. I try to minimize my association with people who I know that ain't really doing it. There's so many things people that's called exciting just to get themselves going each day. But man, when I wake up, man, I'm excited, man. I'm happy, man. I can bet all my money that somebody didn't wake up this morning. I hit the jackpot. So what I'm gonna be? Let somebody talk to me and tell me my story is already in benefit. I woke up, I'm winning. You know what I mean? So I don't get confused with that. I don't let a lot of outside noise enter into my thinking each day. You know, a lot of people think I'm nonchalant, but that's that appearance I give them because I already know the enemy. He's really cunning. He know how to get in and maneuver and put all type of stuff in your pathway just to make you stumble and fall. You know what I'm saying? But so you know, I done had many days to combat them and fight them, and I know how to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Get out your way. You know, don't be all in. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as easy. I mean, it's more easier said than done. But I pay the price each and every day because I know the enemy when he comes. You know, miseducation is the thing that we suffer from when it comes to us as men, black men here. We can follow just about anything somebody put in front of us without knowing really what's inside of the whole matter. You know, research what you're doing and know if it's gonna suit you and your lifestyle. So I'm not even putting myself in environments and letting nobody come into my thinking that really I already know that they don't have any best interests. That's it.
I'm gonna end it on this end, man. Biology is the root of our trauma. We all gonna have triggers, we gonna have activation system. So naturally we're gonna go into that reptile brain. We're gonna fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. We're gonna go in that amygdala brain. That's just how we survive. But if we stay there, we're gonna get trapped. Because the minute we get triggered, all this gets cut off. This prefrontal shit. You don't even go there. You're just going up there to see you remember being trapped back there in the animal brain. And I say all that to say, man, I was just telling Chewy the other day, the story of the two frogs. Frogs were walking, two of them fell in a big ass hole. They couldn't get out. One of the frogs kept jumping. And he jumped so hard, he fell and he killed himself. So the other frogs that was on top of the land, they were telling him, "Fool, don't you try to jump. You can't get out that goddamn hole. Don't you see the other frog that just died? Guess what happened? That frog jumped up and he got out that goddamn hole. So the other frog was like, well, how did you do that? The frog told him, I was deaf. See, that frog tuned out. You got to be deaf to what other motherfuckers
Know
think.
them voices.
And know them voices. Now, if he'd have heard them, he probably would have did it. So you got to be deaf to people's negativity. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what we have to do as black men. When it comes to our mental health, we got to become deaf to whatever they're thinking that we trying to hear ourselves. And we got to be our own. We got to be our own support system. We got to be vulnerable. We got to go back and say, man, who gave us our manhood? Who told us we were man? What we follow? Is that shit law? Is it spiritual? And we got to continue to do our work. So on that note, man, I thank y'all brothers for showing up, being vulnerable. Young Kings, amen.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
for inviting me.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for doing it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, man. I say.